1, 2, 3. What's going on, people? What is going on? As you already know, it's Friday night, which means it is the Friday Night Madness with your boys, Mad Mike Sports, the Mad Scientist. And your host, 6-Man K Styles. And you already know what today's show is going to be. As you already know, the Hall of Fame game was yesterday. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but let's go ahead, Mike. We're going to go ahead and give them what those 3 special words is. What are those 3 special words that we normally give it to them? And today's roll call, we're going to kick it off a little bit here with YMOF Jamal. We got Robert Ponder, Floyd Donnelly, Joseph Thornton, Bubba Gump. Give shouts out to Coach Unchained, a.k.a. Coach Will. You make sure you go ahead and show him some love, as well as the Professor Noah in the building. We got Lowski, D. Coleman. We got John Higgins, Trey Hill, Eric Mack, World's Heart. Maggie T is in the building. You show her some love. We got ATL Leo, Brian Peoples. We got Miss Carrie in the building. Got my people Sonia. She's in here. Y'all show. If you see into my eyes, so this would be our last goodbye, Carrie. Probably don't even know that damn song. Both these folks probably don't even know what the hell that song is. They probably think that's a song we just made up for her, but that's a real song. We got Marwin Johnson. We got AKA. That's one of our peoples too. Y'all make sure y'all show him some love. We got Jerome 69316. I ain't feel like saying all the ones, so I just said 316. We got the Blood Hive. We got Red Swarm. We got Michael Walker, not that Michael Walker. Gabriel Lombro. Blackberry Lorex. You show him some love. We got Reggie C2K in the building. Carrie talking about she love the way we sing. I say, girl, don't
do that, because we might be singing here all night.
No, don't get us in trouble. It's Friday too. Don't get us in trouble. I ain't even do the countdown. Man. Like I said, let's go ahead and get straight into it, man. Let's get straight into it. Now, I know the Hall of Fame game was yesterday, but I really didn't get a chance to see much of it because after working almost 13-hour shift yesterday, I fell asleep before the game.
Well,
only thing I know is that the Raiders defeated the Jaguars 27-11. I mean, I think it's just the simple fact that, you know, football season is here, where the Hall of Fame game is near. The only good thing I seen about that whole game was Zamir White trucking folks. That's all I saw. Everybody else was like, fuck out of here. But we gotta definitely highlight. God damn it! I wish I had put that picture on here. So we're definitely gonna talk about the Hall of Fame class for 2022. I want to hear people's thoughts on how you felt about this year's class of Hall of Famers. Did you like it? Was it eh, or was it bull? Or somebody should have got in? Um, I'll let you go ahead, Mike. Man, go, kick us off with it, man. Let you run the point.
Well, looking at the inductees, um, one person that I'm really shocked that took this long to even get on here, and it goes to show you that these writers they like they like the popular people, and they like to jump on the people with the most uh, championships and stuff of that nature, and they don't look at the actual art of football and how you can go from one of the questionable coaches or questionable players, and then completely turn your career around. And I'm appalled and I'm shocked and I'm just utterly disgusted to see that Dick Vermeil. It took all this time for Dick Vermeil to get in the Hall of Fame. It's disgusting, because you look at him. If it wasn't for him, um, I don't think a lot of current football would be current if it wasn't for him and his style. He's the one who kind of created that popular. We always talk about it on here. The greatest show on turf. It started with him. So to see him just now getting in, it's just like I said. If you don't have if you don't have damn 10 championships, you have no chance of getting any type of respect from these writers. And it's about time that we take it completely away from the writers. They have no reason to have that much power as far as the uh, Hall of Fame voting is concerned. I think it's stupid. I think it's ignorant. They should not have the end all be all when it comes down to it. It should be a players, just my opinion. A certain group of elite players that should be inviting these guys, and we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Trust me. This is why this is one of the main reasons why I'm saying that. This is because like Dick Vermeil is a like you said, he's responsible for the current style of football that we love now. The pass first. It's like he helped created that, and like I said, man, you can go back for years before the greatest show on turf. Like um he was always a good offensive coordinator everywhere he went. So that's why, like I said, man, it's just disgusting to see these writers with so much power, and half of them don't know, have never picked up a football. They've never even thrown a damn football. They probably one that came up with that PFF bullshit. Dog, we know. But yeah, I don't see how looking at this list, Dick Vermeil finally getting into the Hall of Fame. Like out of all the players, Tony Baselli, I think he's without a doubt one of the most dominant tackles. Cliff Branch, I don't know why the hell he should be on this list that early, but you still got guys that are still on the brink of getting there. Like T.O. took about 3 years and stuff like that. Cliff Branch, the Roy Butler, he was a pretty good safety for years. Sam Mills, and I'm gonna just say this about Sam Mills: he's not better than Jesse Tuggle. It's fucking disgusting to have him over Jesse Tuggle. But obviously we know that it's because he's Jesse Tuggle and he played for the Falcons. The reason why he's not. Sam Mills ain't nowhere near Jesse Tuggle. It ain't even close. All right. He got in there because of an obvious situation that I really don't want to get into. But to have Sam Mills over Jesse Tuggle is like, come on, bro. What are we talking about? Am I wrong by that? Like Sam is better than Jesse Tucker?
No, you're not wrong. For a good little while, I didn't even know who the hell Sam Mills was. Cause like I said, when I first started watching, really watching football like that,
Mm-hmm.
it was right around 97, 98. I would always hear stuff about Jesse Tucker. So I know about Jesse Tucker. Sam Mills, I knew he played for the Saints. That was about it. But it's a damn travesty. It's these like you said, these writers are putting these players in American Idol style, and we already know how that stuff going. You know how American Idol used to do their voting. So you're like, oh hell no.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a damn about that.
Everybody clap if you want to be in. Clap. Everybody clap if you want. You look at them, they look at you, and they clap, and you in. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Tony right here says that some of the sports writers hold grudges and keeps players out of the Hall of Fame until after they pass on. Look at this year's class: Raiders wide receiver Cliff Branch, who died 2 years ago, just now getting in. Yeah, I'm about to say why is it guys that are on the ballot and stuff over 20 something, like 10 to 20 years, and now they get the respect after they die? What kind of shit is that? I mean, I don't know too much about Cliff Branch as much. Like I said, I won't go
yeah.
back and look, but at the same time, I'm just gonna say this like this, and I'm already like half ass on the Hall of Fame committee as it is already. You hear that? You heard that child in the background? That's gonna be my motherfucking scream if these motherfuckers put Tony Romo in the Hall of Fame in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
They gonna try it. And if they do, I'm going up to Canton. I'm gonna take that Tony Romo Hall of Fame bus, and I'm gonna bust every last one of them executives upside the head with it. Cause I'm like, ain't nowhere in hell.
I mean, I like I said, I don't want to be disrespectful to Craig Blanche, but like Clifford Brandt. But I'm looking at his numbers. I'm like, bro, it's so damn pedestrian. It's ridiculous. Like I'm just like the numbers are just pedestrian. All like let's just be real. Like I'm looking at it. It's like if you want to say anything, he's a deep threat. I'm looking at it and I'm just like, okay, what separates him from a Roddy White? What separates him from a Terrence Mathis? And I'm gonna just look at Roddy's numbers right now and compare it to him. Um, Roddy better number. Right, let me go to Terrence Mathis. And I'm like I said, I'm looking at all these numbers and I'm just like, okay, so what makes these guys better? Like even Terrence Mathis has almost, if not the same, but more better numbers than these guys. So,
Let's let. Oh, you know what? Let's do one better. Let's pull them up on the screen.
okay.
Let's pull them up on the screen. Let's see. Let's see. Cliff Branch. Cliff Branch.
We would really like you guys to see this and like I said the numbers and I know people are gonna bring up the fact that like all right.
Yeah, because the thing is, you're gonna really kind of pull up based on the era that he played in.
That's why I brought up Terrence Mathis. Like even Terrence Mathis, you compare him to Terrence Mathis. Terrence Mathis not far off from him, but he's in the Hall of Fame. But like Terrence is not even considered to be a Hall of Famer.
Let's see. No. Let's see. Okay, we put. All right. So let's see. Okay, I didn't ask for that. Okay, let's see. There you go. Receiving. Got two 1,000 yard seasons. Yeah,
You see what I mean?
deep threat.
It's like
Yeah, deep
he's
threat.
just a deep threat. It's like you just gonna get in the Hall of Fame for being a deep threat. Like that's a one dimensional player.
All right, and hold on. 5'11", 170 pounds. Yeah, that is exactly Deshaun Jackson right there. All right. Let's see. I said Terrence Mathis, not Terrence McGee. Who the hell? Who the hell can't see? They fucking with me. You see pro foot. You see they try to fuck with me. Hold on, let me stop the screen right quick.
Mm-hmm.
God damn. You see how they try to do me like that?
Terrence McGee.
Terrence McGee. I'm like, what? But we'll talk about the other guys in there, like the guys that I can kind of recognize. Um, like Tony Baselli. See, I can
mm-hmm.
remember a Tony Baselli as he was the
Mm-hmm.
actual first draft pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and at that time, like you said, was one of the most dominant tackles in the game. Only problem, he couldn't stay healthy worth a damn. Hold on. See, my bad, y'all. I'm sitting here trying to get this stuff to come up. All right, here we go. We back in the game now. We back in the game. You know, I had to do a little something here. All right. You said Terrence Mathis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, by looking at those numbers, it is identical as hell.
Yeah, yeah. That's what that's and
Yeah.
see. This is one of the reasons why I say it's like a lot of these guys are getting in the Hall of Fame. You know, Falcons players have identical, if not better, numbers than these guys. None of these guys are getting in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you
Yes.
look at Clifford Brand's first few years in the league, it's not really.
You see that? Uh-oh. Y'all see what happened there? Y'all see what happened? See, now we bringing up these stats. They done froze up Mike. They froze Mike's ass up. Um, let's see. Coach here said he got in because he was a Raider. Hey, that definitely could be the case. But Josh, Zach Thomas, nah, I don't nah, he's not a Hall of Famer yet. Like I said, yeah, Jesse Tuggle needs to be in this Hall of Fame discussion within the next Hall of Fame class. Cause ain't no way in hell that you got this guy who literally is third all time tackler in NFL history, not in the Hall of Fame. But that's a conversation left for another day. Let's talk about some of the other guys that we got in here. I know everybody's especially everybody down here in Georgia. I know it's pretty happy for Richard Seymour. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it was a time where Richard Seymour was like one of my favorite defensive players, especially on the D line for a little while. He definitely was one of those type of guys the Falcons needed back in those early 2000s before they got John Abraham. Actually, they came out around the same year. Am I correct?
Uh, hold on. Um, hmm. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, Richard Seymour, I can definitely give a pass on that one. That I think that was more so well deserved. We go back to the list. Um, Brian Young was kind of a head scratcher for me because I didn't, even though he was dominant for a good little while, I would not have thought that he would have been a Hall of Famer this soon anyway. Even though for most Falcon fans, forgot that Brian Young was originally supposed to be a defensive line coach for this team 2 years ago.
Um, uh, from what I heard last night, and this is another reason why I think it's just absolute bullshit. That these writers just need to, like, it's disgusting to have writers uh voting, and that, like, they have such a stronghold on the Hall of Fame voting. That's because from hearing what they said last night, he had players pretty much campaign for him to get him into the Hall of Fame. There was a segment during, the game last night where it's like people really campaign for Brian Young as far as, like, doing their thing, and going to these writers and saying it's like, all right, this guy was extremely dominant at that point in time. Um, like I said, I think he had a. My thing is he had a 4 to 5 year stretch where he was one of the most dominant inside
Right. I
defensive
remember that.
tackles,
I
and
remember that.
but it like he kind of died down after a while. So, like, I'm not saying that he wasn't a great defensive tackle, but he had a short period of time where he was dominant, and that for me, that's not good enough. And it goes to show you too that the team that you play for, um, it it plays a factor because another thing during that broadcast they were saying it's like he was the leader of that San Francisco 49er defense. Um, but like I said before, it's like, yeah, he was that, but at the end of the day, how dominant was he in the game and consistently dominant? That's the question for me.
Mm. Yeah, like I said, it was kind of like one of them short spurts kind of thing for him. Um, yeah, I don't remember it being a long, long stretch of him being dominant like that.
Right.
Um, D. Coleman brought up another name. He's that Marty Schottenheimer ain't in the Hall of Fame. He ain't never gonna. I don't think he gonna make the Hall of Fame no time soon. He done
Mm-mm.
got it. Him and that owner got into it. Like, that shit right there.
Mm-hmm.
If there ain't no Super Bowls
Friends.
under,
That's it. That's real. If you ain't got friends to suck off these writers, like, you don't have a chance. Like, there's something that I do know personally because um the guys at Sports Atlanta Sports Unlimited, TJ Pollan, he goes in and, like, a lot of these um writers have a vote, have a say so, partially because they have, like, a lot of these people that you think should be in the Hall of Fame are only in the Hall of Fame because writers have to submit a quote unquote resume on behalf of these players. Meaning, if the fan base doesn't go to these writers and say, all right, we want this guy in, a lot of times they not gonna listen to anything these players. Don't matter how good these players are. Like it's the same thing for Mike Ken, um, for the Atlanta Falcons.
Mike
Bob
Ken,
Whitfield, like all
Bob
these
Whitfield.
guys. We as fans have to go to these writers and say, "Hey, man, we want these guys in here. We want our guy in the Hall of Fame." So if they get the fan base behind that particular person, and then go to this writer, whoever our writer is, a D-Led, or whoever it is, we got to make sure that we pitch to these guys that we want you to write something on behalf of the fans to get Jesse Tuggle in. And this is why it's very important as a fan base to get behind these players, because if we don't get behind these players, they don't have a chance to get in the Hall of Fame, which is the reason why guys like Jesse Tuggle, like and Jeff Van Note and all these other guys, they don't have and then Tommy Nobles, these guys don't have a shot at getting in the Hall of Fame because we're not getting behind them. It's like I said, these writers got way too much power, and like I said, I think it's disgusting. That should never happen that way. It should always be, more so the players, voting these guys in versus writers.
Right. So, kind of going by what Devontae here said. He said, "Ain't no team without fans believing in them." So, what you're telling me is we all need to form a union of about 10,000 strong. Find all the writers, sports writers in Atlanta, and jump them.
Oh, I can make that. I already got access to a writer. Yeah, look, I already got access to the writer who wants to do this. The problem is getting the people to get behind it. So you guys get behind Mad Mike Sports Atlanta Falcons Nation, make this 10,000, 10K, 15, 20K. We can get this couple in. I can make sure that. I promise you, I can make sure that if y'all get behind us, I can promise you that I can get Jesse Tuggle in the Hall of Fame. I promise you that.
And if he don't, you know what time it is. The skin watch is telling me. You know what time? Look, you know what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna go.
Bill Frader is another one.
Mars said we need to go and pimp slap. We need a pimp slapping rally on these goofy ass writers. Yeah. Yeah. Miller Mills here asks, "What's the actual credentials to make it in the Hall of Fame?" Hell, just be likable, like Mike said, just be likable to the writers and all the basically sports media people. That's why. That's why. As much as I love Calvin Johnson, he got in way too soon.
Mm-hmm. Gotta kiss their ass most of all.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I take T.O. about 3-4 times to even get in there.
And
even though he's
T.O.
like the second. I think he, like, you look at his stats, T.O.'s probably second in almost every wide receiver category there is behind Jerry Rice. But it took him down there, like I said, it took about 3-4 times to even get him in. And that,
Right.
yeah, that's why these writers, like I said, that's why a lot of them, they hold grudges against people because they just didn't give you a story or something like that. T.O. didn't give you a story. Arthur Smith didn't give you a story, and they hold it against them.
Yeah. Yeah. T.O. should have been. He should have been there way earlier than he did. That's why he held his Hall of Fame speech at his college. He said, "Y'all."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Fuck y'all." Okay, let's go back and look at this list again. We got a couple more here. Leroy Butler. and
I'm gonna
Art
be a little.
McNally.
I'm gonna be a little disrespectful. I don't think Leroy Butler was that good. Like to be a Hall of Famer. It's just like I saw a couple of years where he was okay, but like he got in there because he a Packer man. Like them Packer fans, they get behind their players. But was he really dominant like that to say he a Hall of Famer?
That's the thing. Would you put him on the same level as a Steve Atwater?
Nah,
No.
hell no, hell no, hell fuck, fuck no. Okay, capital fuck no,
Would you put him on the level as a Rod Woodson?
hell no,
No.
hell no.
Would you put him on the same level as a Ronnie Lott? Hell no.
Hell no. Come on, man. Like, do you remember Leroy Butler moments? Let's just keep that real. How many Leroy Butler moments did you remember in the NFL?
I'm about to say, wasn't he the one that hit John Elway that hit the helicopter spin in the Super Bowl? Wasn't he the one that hit him, that forced him to do the helicopter spin for the first down? I think it was him. That's about really the only thing I can remember.
If that's it, that's really it. Like,
Nah, but to be for real, like I said, he wasn't great. He wasn't really all that great. It's just the fact that the Packers are just good around that 94, 95, 96, 97. See, so they just used that into account to put them in there. But outside of that, no. And Weezy B said, Weezy B said, who is Leroy Butler? Leroy Butler was the starting strong safety for the Green Bay Packers from what I've remembered, right around that 94, 95 Green Bay Packers until he retired. My people said Leroy Butler equals Thomas Day Cool. I wouldn't even speak that low.
Nah, that ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do him like that. I ain't gonna do it like that.
Like I said,
like I said, I don't really remember a Leroy Butler moment. Like, I just don't.
Nothing really stands out. I mean,
just say these people.
I mean, outside of Reggie White, who do you really remember on that defense like that?
Right.
Like right off the top of your head. I'm just talking about for the average person. Marino Carter said, "Getting in the Hall of Fame should be about your play on the field, not about whether some damn writer likes you because he let you interview him. Why can't the Hall of Fame players vote on who gets in and get not?" That's don't the Hall of Fame. I think the Hall of Fame players got to vote too. I think they got to vote, but I think the writers' votes have more weight to them.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I like I said, boy, ain't no way. Like I told y'all, y'all can clip this and y'all can save this in the archives. If they put Tony Romo in the Hall of Fame, not as a commentator, but as a football player, they need to throw the Hall of Fame in the garbage. I'm telling you right now. And you see when the finger goes like this, I am dead serious. They need if Tony Romo ends up being a Hall of Fame quarterback, not an announcer, but a quarterback, throw the Hall of Fame in the garbage because it don't make no goddamn sense. Y'all hear me?
Why would you volunteer Tony Romo to do anything? Motherfucker couldn't even win back. He couldn't win a playoff game. Like, what are we talking about?
Because Jerry Jones got that money. He got that loan money. Like, he could buy Tony Romo in the Super Bowl. That's the
Don't
fucked up part
disrespect
about it.
Eli Manning like that. Don't disrespect Eli. Eli Manning, if you look at his numbers compared to a lot of quarterbacks, his numbers are better than a lot of people that's actually in the Hall of Fame as quarterbacks. So don't disrespect Eli Manning like that. Was he Peyton Manning? Fuck no. Was he Matt Ryan? Fuck no. But he was still a Hall of Fame quarterback. Because if you look at a lot of guys, we can do this all day with quarterbacks that's in the Hall of Fame that we even question why they even in there. And one of them played for the Steel Curtain.
Terry Bradshaw.
So if his ass is in it, and Joe whatever the hell his name is, the Jet, Mr. Jet, if his
Joe
ass is in
Namath.
the Hall of Fame, Joe Namath is in, if these guys in the Hall of Fame, you look, trust me, Eli belongs in the Hall of Fame. Because those guys' numbers, you look at them, you look at their career over a long term, you was like, why are these guys even in there?
Yeah, that is true. But and I guess they put an official in here, Art and McNanley. You know how I feel about the officials. Fuck them officials. Okay, next to the next.
Oh, they got officials in there?
Huh? Yeah,
I
they
totally forgot about that. Damn, who the hell gonna
yeah
be
yeah.
another
Art
damn
McNally.
official?
I don't. I can't pinpoint shit.
Oh, you did a good
uh,
job on that holding call. What the hell? Good
it's
call, good
actually
call. You did that with flair. You call that first down
exactly
with flair.
exactly. Like that motherfucker did a strut or something. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Next, cause goddamn it, I don't know what.
Look at this number right here. Just look at that number right here. This man in the Hall of Fame. Come on, man. Come on, man.
192 touchdown passes, 217 ints. You can't throw. Look, you can't throw Super Bowls as a criteria because hell, damn, there's 10 Hall of Fame quarterbacks with no Super Bowls. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so you can't. Like I say, at the end of the day, it's all based on who is liked and who's beloved and who's hated.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Antonio Brown definitely has earned a right to be in the Hall of Fame. As long as he don't do that goofy ass shit that he did at Rolling Loud, I'm good. That motherfucker going around state. I like, what the hell is
Nah,
that
it wasn't
shit?
even that. It wasn't even that. It's just like, bro, you look like you. I don't even know how to explain that. I like.
that, that motherfucker was rolling loud, all right, boy. He was rolling on the wrong loud. That's what he was doing. It wasn't even a good loud. He was rolling on that wrong loud. That motherfucker walked around the stage like this. I'm like, what are you trying to do? Eric Mack asked, do we have any players in the Hall of Fame? We only got one. Claude Humphrey. That's the only one we got. We got as many Hall of Famers. We got many players Hall of Fame at the
I mean, two. We
Jacksonville
got two. We
Jaguars.
got Prime.
Oh,
We got Prime.
oh yeah.
I forgot Prime. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't remember if they put him in as a Falcon or a Cowboy. It's like hell.
He went in as a Falcon.
Okay, he went in as a Falcon.
Want to remember as a Falcon.
Okay. Okay, because I didn't. I because they kept trying to. Because I remember they kept talking.
They tried
about
to put him in everything.
They tried to.
Else.
Yeah,
they had a whole trophy. They had number 21. That was the Falcon.
Yeah, because they made such a big deal about it because they was like, man, He needs to go in as a Cowboy. He needs to go in as a 49er. I
Yeah.
forgot he went in as a Falcon. So, good job. We got two of them. Should be at least 6 of them in there.
Right.
But enough of the Hall of Fame talk. Like I said, congratulations to everybody, though. You will be remembered forever with the gold jacket. Even though some of y'all may not deserve to be there right now, you deserve it. Let's get to the second part of it. The second part of it, as we are talking about. Go ahead, Mike. What you got?
No. Go ahead. Go. No, never mind.
Some more training camp stuff. And we're going to talk about the ideology between believing in the team and being critical of the team.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, what do you think is the difference? What is it about this team that makes you believe in it? And why do you think people criticize it so much? Criticize them so much?
First of all, it's just in your heart, period, to criticize. If you say you're a fan of a team, even if they're not playing well, you still gonna support them anyway. So if you constantly talking about negativity or what they ain't gonna do, well, that's just in your heart. You just a loser at the end of the day. Um, the true fans support the team regardless of how they look. They winning or losing. That's what true friends are. Um, but today, I would say the main reason why people are they choose to hate and choose negativity is because they can't get over that white boy being the best player this franchise has ever had. Let's just keep that 100. They don't want that white boy representing them in their franchise. Matt Ryan is obviously the greatest Falcon of all time. Period, point blank. I don't think anybody can dispute that. This man has done um, everything from a player's perspective that you could ever accomplish. MVPs, the best quarterback in the league, the best player in the league. He has almost every record known to man, um, especially with the Atlanta Falcons franchise. So, like, and he's the standard when we talk about quarterbacks. It's not Mike Vick. It ain't Steve Bartkowski. Um, you as a player, you come to work every day, try to be the most valuable player. He's already done that. It's not a lot of players in the league that ever said that they are um, they have been the most valuable player of an entire league. I don't think anybody outside of prime time can say that, and I don't even think Prime, if I'm not mistaken, I don't even think Prime ever won the MVP. So he's done everything that you can possibly do, and at the end of the day, we got people that's way too proud to just admit that that white boy is the greatest Falcon of all time, and they like they're gonna do everything possible to erase his legacy. Um, the fans, they try to do everything to make sure that like you don't remember Matt Ryan. Like I said, that's just the truth of the matter, man. Nobody want to get that man credit for what he's done. He's the greatest Falcon of all time. You look at, like I said, you can look at anything and everything that you want. He's done that. It wasn't Mike Vick. It wasn't prime time. It wasn't a lot of people. He did that, and he's done that at a consistent rate. We're talking about a consistent rate. He's done it every year. He's suited up. He never got hurt. He always gave 4,000, 25 plus touchdowns, less than 15 interceptions every year, and we still wonder whether or not like why he's not being praised. Like I said, at the end of the day, man, there's so many people. It's so much stuff that you can say about this man, and that's one of the main reasons why people just stay negative is because they just don't want that white boy to represent the Falcons because we're in a black city for the most part, a black culture here in Atlanta, here in Georgia. It's just a swagger here, and we don't want a quote unquote white boy representing us.
And right before I get to mine, man, we gotta go ahead. We gotta do our light check here. We have 68 people in here, so Mad Mike, we're gonna need that light check coming on. And while we doing that, we're gonna take a quick little intermission cheap plug. So let's put intermission cheap plug music on. So as y'all go ahead and continue to hit that like button, make sure you go ahead, like, share, subscribe to not only Mad Mike Sports, but Six Man K Styles as well. We are 11 away from 1K. But we got 67 people in here right now. It should be should be at least 32. So while Mad Mike is over there buffering, let's go ahead and let's see what we got here. Let's see. And like I said, y'all make sure y'all go ahead and leave y'all questions in the comments and in the chat as well, because we're going to have Q&A portion here at the end of the show. So we definitely appreciate that. As Mad Mike gets himself situated. All right. All right. Let's go ahead, man. We definitely appreciate everybody for doing that, man. But Mike took it a different turn than I would have done that I would have went to. I want to kind of elaborate on what he says about the representation aspect of it, which is a true statement. But it's one thing I always have to say, and from what he said is kind of like one of the major talking points that are used as far as what type of guys that they want here. Oh, you in God mode right now? You in deity mode right now? Because this is always a talking point when it comes between the quarterback position on what people want in a quarterback here in Atlanta. It's always the black city culture and stuff like that. Only issue is Atlanta really a black city with it getting gentrified every day? And first and foremost, for me personally, I don't get into talks like that, because at the end of the day, that quarterback position ain't the only position that needs to be a focus. See, when we're looking at people that are doubting this year's team, let's be real. The reason why people are doubting this year's team is because you don't have any big name players. They don't flash. These ain't the guys you want. We can even go back to last year. Kyle Pitts. Everybody wanted Justin Fields. Drake London. Everybody wanted Jameson Williams and or Chris Olave and or Malik Willis and such with the first pick. So
They're down on the team too, is because of these stupid writers and these stupid content creators. Let's just keep that 100 too. I'm here to give shots out to and just tell the truth about things. We shit on our players. We shit on our players so much, it becomes something that's natural. You focus on negative things all the time, that's exactly what you're gonna get. You're gonna get that negative energy. And a lot of these content creators, if it's not players who they want, it's not the coach who they want, it's not the owner ain't moving to get certain players the way that they feel like who they should go after. You know, these content creators, they write articles after articles after articles and just make up stuff just because they don't want to get behind it. And just like we were talking about, um, Jeff Schultz, he had no reason to say anything about Deion Jones the way he did it. We've never heard anything about this man having an attitude. We never heard anything about this dude being a poor teammate. We've never heard anything about that as far as Deion Jones is concerned. But yet you come out and write, the Falcons are worried about his attitude and all this type of stuff. If the Falcons are worried about attitude, you think this man Arthur's gonna keep somebody around with attitude? He got rid of Matt Ryan. I mean, just said bye. We'll give you away for a third round pick. You really think he gonna keep Deion Jones around if he wasn't on board with what was going on? Let me repeat what I just said. Okay, he gave Matt Ryan, probably the greatest player in this franchise history, away for a third round pick. You think he won't hesitate to ship Deion Jones' ass up out of here? Come on, man. Like I said, it is these stupid writers, these stupid content creators putting out all this bullshit who have close to 50,000, 100,000 people following them, and people take that as gospel. That's the reason why people so negative in Georgia. I just keep it 100. Like I said, that's one of the main reasons why people don't like me. They don't like AFN. They don't like us because we tell the truth about it. Y'all put out a bunch of bullshit, and then people are naturally inclined to be attracted to negativity. Negativity, a bunch of nonsense. People love to talk about nonsense. They love to talk about when Calvin really getting arrested or whoever getting arrested. They love to talk about that type of stuff. But soon you hear some positivity, it goes away. Don't nobody want to hear nothing the positive thing that Grady Jarrett is doing. Oh, Grady Jarrett is a model citizen. You look on YouTube, ain't nobody making no damn Grady Jarrett videos. He one of the best defensive tackles in the league, but nobody makes anything on Grady Jarrett. Nobody.
that is true.
We do.
It says show love. We like you said at the end of the day, if you say you are a football fan, that means you have to be a fan of the team, not the possession.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to base our whole entire existence on one possession, then you're never going to be satisfied with the product as it is. I mean, as far as outside of just straight up losing, like I said, nobody wants to lose. Nobody wants to see their team lose. But if the entire folk, and I think the problem is it's with the national media putting this quarterback position above everything else without giving the context of that quarterback can't be successful without everybody else doing their job. Like I
This
said,
this
like
this comment right here is exactly what I mean right here. This comment right here is exactly
mm-hmm,
what.
mm-hmm. Just like one of the quotes I had up here before I exited out, it says, "You are what you believe." If you think this team sucks, this team is going to suck.
Mm-hmm.
So your expectation is going to be sucked no matter what. But then the question is, I have to ask to you is if you expect the team to be bad and they exceed your expectations, are you going to be happy that they did that? Or are you going to be mad that they did that? Because you put all your energy on the negative side of it, you ain't going to have enough energy for the good side of it. I'm trying to remember if that's how it went. Yeah, that's how.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Said this is why we have the question about belief versus criticism. There's a criticism that is warranted for this team because this team is of the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what to expect from this team. Like you said, everybody that we expected to be there and that were like the staples, well, outside of Grady and Dion, those really only the last two, only two staples. I'm talking about staples. I'm talking about guys that's been on this team for 4+ years and did it at a high level. Is Grady and Dion
Mm-hmm.
and Jake Matthews. That's three guys right there.
Ironically, those guys are still on the squad.
Mm-hmm. Because in order for you to in order for you to put together a culture that you're trying to put into, because this is what Dean Pease is taught. Like this is what Dean Pease talk about. He talking about changing the culture. This is what Arthur Smith believes in too. This is what Terry Fontenot believes in as well. The culture, like I said, if you listen to the national media tell you your culture only changes when you get the quarterback. I call bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
The culture starts with the mentality. It starts with the edge of the players that you have. I want to ask everybody that's watching tonight. I want to ask everybody a question. And I want to hear some I want to see some yeses and I want to see some no's in this chat. When y'all watch these Falcon videos, have y'all noticed the energy of this team? If you feel like the energy is different, put yes. If you feel like it doesn't matter, put no. Because I know for me, for what I'm seeing, is the energy is a lot different. You got a lot of young guys that are unproven. You got a squad full of players that's been here and they're terrible for so long. They looking at it like they think we suck anyway. Let's go ahead and prove them wrong.
Let me this comment is not true at all, because the reason why I say it's not true at all is because for quite some time, Seattle was a losing franchise. But what took them to the next level is they started developing. They had a plan. They had a plan in place on what they wanted to be. They wanted to be a defensive team. They wanted to run the ball. They wanted to create a West Coast style offense. It was it started with how you build the team first.
Mm-hmm.
Winning is a result of you issuing a plan through a culture.
Mm-hmm.
The winning is a result of the culture change. Pittsburgh Steelers, again, they had a culture first. The culture
Mm-hmm.
has never changed,
Mm-hmm.
but they had an identity. San Francisco, again, they had an identity, a culture of what they wanted to be, and they never changed it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not true. Winning is a byproduct of your culture. You have to set a standard, what you want to be. If I'm gonna play, let's just say I'm gonna be a boxer. I have to make the decision if I want to be Muhammad Ali or I want to be more like Sugar Ray Leonard or I want to be Mike Tyson or I want to be a brawler like like George Foreman. There's so many different styles of boxing. You got guys like Leonard Lewis, who is a behemoth of a man, but he fights more like a Sugar Ray Leonard, just jab, 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 move, 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 jab, 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 and occasionally it hits you with a right hook, that'll knock you down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it starts with the identity. The identity is of the winning is a byproduct of a culture. It got to start with a culture. You got to start with an identity. How are you going to attack these guys? Are we going to attack these in the running game? We're going to play some hard-nosed defense? Or we're going to have a guy that's going to be more of an inside pressure guy versus an outside pressure guy? Because if you look at the Colts, they started with a outside. They built their defense with outside edges. They had guys in the middle, but for the most part, that defense was ran by those edge guys. The edge guys and the safeties. So they started a culture, and that's the same thing with the offense. They had an identity. You gotta start with the identity, and this is why we say this time and time again with the Falcons. We don't for year to year, we don't even know who the hell we were gonna get on the defense side of the ball.
We know who we was gonna get. We knew Tyler Davidson was gonna get his ass ran on. We knew Dante Fowler was gonna spin kick his way to 4 sacks.
I'm from the draft.
Oh,
we know from the draft. We know we didn't have a clue if it was gonna be a safety, a linebacker, we had no clue what we were gonna do. Sometimes they gonna build on that defensive line. Sometimes that's all they gonna focus on first is building on defense. The defense, we didn't know what the hell we was gonna do. We didn't know 1 year we are gonna draft a safety, or corner, or a damn or edge guy.
Right.
We had no clue. But when you talk about those, them Baltimore Ravens, every year they gonna go in them trenches. They gonna get a defensive end or a defensive tackle, or offensive guard or offensive tackle. Every year what they gonna do. It starts with the culture. The culture creates a winning environment, and that environment, the wins are a result of that.
So let me ask y'all a question too. And Mike done now deemed me the interrogator because I like to ask a lot of questions. So let me ask y'all a question. And shout out to Red Swarm for this $10 super sticker, man. We definitely appreciate
Red
that,
Swarm,
man.
Boy, I love you, man. Appreciate that.
But kind of getting back to what he said. He's saying if you're not winning, no one cares what culture you're trying to create. See, but the problem is, bro, this actually gonna get to the question that I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say we're putting together a car, right? We're gonna put together a Ferrari. Okay, we're gonna put together a Ferrari. Like I said, we got the body, we got all that stuff, right? We got a Ferrari. But we're gonna put bicycle parts in the engine.
Mm-hmm.
How's that car gonna run?
Yeah.
Like you said, you have to have an identity. The problem is with the identity for the Atlanta Falcons was really it wasn't really no identity at all. They were trying to copy somebody else's identity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's go back to that 2016-17 season. What was the identity of the Atlanta Falcons? You may say it was the passing game. No. Was it the defense? No. The identity, and hold on. And I'm kind of going all over the place because everything just keeps on connecting. Everybody that's watching, have you know if you paid attention since 2008, every season where we built this culture on balance, built the team on balance, we went to the playoffs. When we built the team on trying to outthrow everybody and not putting a capable defense behind it, we don't go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
This is what Mike is talking about, is about establishing the culture, because it's like 1 minute you're building the culture on balance and defense, and the next minute you trying to build this team on the greatest show on turf. It don't work like that.
And you're saying that nobody cares about it. Nobody cares nobody cares about us if you're not winning. Well, that's not true at all either, because the Falcons for quite some time, the fans were happy with what we had because it was our identity. We were the Dirty Birds. We were the rudest team in football. That was our culture. We was gonna bust you in the mouth. We're playing hard-nosed defense, and we were gonna run that damn ball. That philosophy started in the 60s. It never changed until Thomas Dimitrov came along and tried to turn us into the greatest show on turf. That's what the Falcons have always been. We were gonna run the ball and we are gonna bust your ass in the mouth on defense. That's what we've always been.
And that's not only a culture for the Atlanta Falcons, but that's an entire culture of just football, period, down here in the state of Georgia. If you look at a lot of the top high school teams, you look at the college teams, they pride themselves on running the football. Not saying that all of them is successful at it.
Georgia Tech for years, that's what they were, running the ball and play solid defense.
We sucked, but guess what? You knew what the fuck we was gonna do. We was gonna make something happen out of it, even if it didn't work. Because I'm not I'm not gonna try to build a house and not lay down no concrete.
Right.
I'm not gonna ride a bike and forget without the chains and pedals on there. What the fuck is that?
You just got something that look good.
Yeah, Red Swan, appreciate you, man. He said y'all become my #1 sports talk channel. Look for each week the knowledge and information y'all bring. Hey, man, we definitely appreciate it, man, because we're actually kind of evolving ourselves as far as giving y'all giving y'all our opinions and stuff as well. Incorporating different things in here as well. So it's not just us, it's y'all as well that continue to watch.
Warner Robins is another school, predominantly off running the ball. Georgia Bulldogs, Georgia Southern when they had AP. Adrian Peterson, but not
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Like it's like Georgia has always been a smash mouth style of football. We've never been pressy. So this is what we talk about as far as like at the end of the day, you can talk about winning games, but you still gotta have an identity. You can't win games if you don't have an identity. Winning games are a byproduct of a culture.
So let me let's ask a question. Let's look at all the winning. We're gonna look at the last 6. Okay, since the Falcons last 5 years. Let's look at all the winning teams. And when we're talking about winning teams, we're talking about teams that flipped an identity and started winning. The New Orleans Saints. That's the first team I always think of because they went through the exact same shit we went through. They changed their culture. They threw the ball a lot, but they was known for defense. Flipped it. Boom. When you see
running the ball too. They ran the ball. They passed the ball for like 5 years in a row, and like Drew Brees, like during that time, he had like an NFL record for passing yards and passing touchdowns and all that type of stuff. And they totally flipped the script and went to a balanced offense.
Right. Let's see who else we could put on there that's winning. Like I said, as crazy as it sounds with Aaron Rodgers, their culture up in Green Bay is running the damn ball. He said, "Thank you. Winning games are a byproduct of culture." You know what? And of course, that's exactly what he said. What the hell do you think byproduct means? Winning is a result of culture.
Culture.
You
can't win games if you don't have a culture.
Right.
You got to have an identity. That's what culture is, essentially an identity. If you don't have an identity and you change your identity every year, you can't win games. I don't understand how that's hard to understand.
I'm about to say though, you can't build a culture when you're literally changing offenses every 2 years.
You got like a quarterback and wide receiver, which led Julio Jones' frustration. It led to Matt Ryan's frustration. It led to the coach's frustration when every year your philosophy is changing. That's not a culture.
That's it. Like I said, we go from 16, like I said. You go from trying to pass the ball in 2013 like a motherfucker with no running game. Didn't win. You bring in Kyle Shanahan. You add a little bit more balance. It wasn't good the first year, but the second year they went to the Super Bowl. He leaves. Actually, you go even before that. Mike Mularkey. You got Dirk Cutter twice. Steve Sarkisian.
That's a good point, Mill. That's a good point too. This right here, they did the same thing that we did, and they went right back to it. They believed their hype and Patrick Mahomes was this super gifted quarterback, which he is, but like they still went back to the basics and ran the ball, created balance, and played defense. They started to invest in their offensive line. They went out and got on Orlando Brown Jr. Like they invested into that identity. Which football, the identity of football and how you win games is not having a bunch of players.
See, but I'm glad that Blackberry's in here, and from what he's saying, because it serves a purpose. Because he didn't necessarily say winning consistently. He didn't name.
I know where you're going.
He didn't name what is the basis of the what. So I'm gonna ask Blackberry this: where do the Falcons need to go to build this winning culture in your eyes? That's a good question for him. That's the only way we're gonna kind of figure out where the mindset is on that. Because what it is with certain people will not tell you what needs to be done. They want to tell you what the result needs to be, but they won't tell you the process. They won't tell you the process to get there.
Yeah. You can't just, all right, we need to win. But how we're going to get to that point? It's like, all right, we have we have a dream, we have a vision of what we want to do, and that's win the Super Bowl. But nobody understands how we're going to build a team and build a culture that's going to create that opportunity for us. And the easiest route to that, we all know, if you're if not just a football fan, running the ball, playing solid defense is the easiest route to that.
Because you talk about Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City always gets timely stops on third down, turnovers, and they run the ball effectively when need be. The Cleveland Browns went from one of the worst teams in the league to now they win. They win in games because they are the best team in the trenches on both sides of the ball.
I'm just thinking that too. I mean, that's what happened to the Rams too. That in the playoffs, they went out and got Cam Akers back from the injury. He started to run the ball a lot. They started running the ball a lot better, and they had that balance between the passing game and the running game.
Right.
Like it started in the trenches.
Because you gotta have because you have to have balance in order to sustain the success. You gotta have balance. If you don't have that balance, it ain't looking good. Yes, the Rams won the Super Bowl last year, but is it a guarantee that they will have sustained success? We saw the Bengals go to the Super Bowl last year. And here's the thing, and I said it before. The Bengals went to the Super Bowl last year, a Super Bowl that they should have won. One thing happened. The Cincinnati Bengals stopped being balanced and tried to throw their way to a victory.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Sounds like Super Bowl 51 right there.
That's exactly what we did.
Actually, if you really think about it, it sounds like damn near every Super Bowl we have seen since 2001.
Yeah.
That's why they broke the Legion of Boom up in Seattle. Them motherfuckers were mad as hell. Like, motherfucker, we got Marshawn Lynch on the 1 yard line with 20-something seconds left. First thing go, hey, you stupid motherfuckers is gonna pass the ball.
Right.
Them motherfuckers looking at the sideline looking like this. Really, nigga?
Boy, that march to the side, him going to the sideline and just looking at Pete Carroll smiling and laughing, boy, that was life, boy. That been right. Lynch, that boy, that's something else, man.
All right, so this is what he said. He said, when it's built and it's sustainable like we're doing now, being big and physical, stingy on defense, when it results in a chip, that's when the physical culture is sustained. That's exactly what we've been saying.
That's literally
what we're saying.
You can't win. You can't win if you don't have the same that like the blueprint. We keep talking about the blueprint. The blueprint is playing solid defense and having balance. You gotta have balance. You gotta have a good passing game, and you have to have a consistent running game. You cannot have one without the other.
The only championship Aaron Rodgers won, yes, he had a good game. But if James starts and Sam Congato wasn't running the ball like they was, Pittsburgh would have beat their ass. Majority of Tom Brady's championships came off of some type of running game. Oh, they don't want to tell you that part.
Even the Super Bowl with the the Bucks, not Bucks, but the Broncos when they beat Carolina. One of the main reasons why they were so hard to stop them is because yeah, Peyton Manning wasn't throwing the ball barely 15 yards, but he was checking the hell out of that bit. He was getting them first downs. He just kept moving that chain. The running game was excellent for the Broncos, but the passing game, him keeping the clock churning, is what won them championship. It was a balance. You gotta have, like, you go back to even to the Baltimore Ravens team. No, Trent Dilfer wasn't a guy that was gonna give you 300. He barely. Sometimes he give you 100, 200 passing. But he kept the clock churning. He kept the clock churning. Kept the defense off the field, and they just ran the ball with Jamal Lewis.
He was the game manager. He was the guy. He was the guy to make sure your ass didn't go out there and make mistakes.
That's it. So it's a balance. That's how the Rams won last year. Balance.
Why the hell you think the Chiefs got their ass whooped by the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl?
They could not get that ball back. Yeah.
If your two tackles is out, why the fuck is you trying to throw the ball 15 yards down the field every damn play?
Right.
I'm just saying, bro. And this has been the culture of the Atlanta Falcons for the last 4 or 5 years. We have been solely dependent on trying to outthrow everybody instead of building that balance. And this is what Arthur Smith is trying to bring here. This is what they're building here. This is why you don't have no big name guys. This is why everybody doesn't like Marcus Mariota as the quarterback. This is why nobody likes Desmond Ridder as the quarterback for the Falcons, because they are not the sexy picks. You don't always have to have the sexiest pick on your team. Can they get the job done when the adversity is there? How are they going to react? We're looking at a point right now is you may have a guy like Tyler Algier could end up being the running back one for this team this upcoming year. We ain't heard shit about Quadri Olsen all training camp.
All training camp, yeah.
We got the Wolf in the building, man. Y'all make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to the Wolf.
Yes, sir.
Wolf Day A1. Oh, yes, sir. Because, hold on, Weezy here said, but this NFL era is a passing league. Wide receivers are getting drafted higher than ever, often in the first round. I mean, it's a passing league, but when it comes to the playoffs, you still got to run the ball.
Still got to run the ball.
Still got to run the ball.
Still got to
and that's the problem. And that's the problem, because running the ball doesn't bring in ticket sales because it's boring. This is where the state of the mindset of the average football fan is. They don't see. And I'm going to give the Tennessee Titans credit here. They are one of the only teams in this league that plays old school football. It wasn't until they got Julio Jones where everybody started taking them seriously, because everybody is enamored and glorified that high-powered, we got to have all the weapons on the outside offense. It's nice to have. Falcons, we've had it for years, and it ain't did nothing for us without a running game. I'm not saying you got to have a 2,000-yard rusher in your backfield, but you got to have some type of threat back there.
Let's just keep it real. Both times that we went to the Super Bowl, we had a top 5 running game. Like, Devontae and Tevin Coleman combined for about like 20 plus touchdowns in the running game. They had 20 plus touchdowns apiece in 2016, just running the ball.
I think running and catching, I think it was like 25. Running and
25
catching.
running, yeah. So they had like 25 combined, just
Yeah.
those two guys.
Right.
And then you go back to Jamal Anderson and the 98 Falcons. Like, dude had like 400 carries, 500 something carries the entire year, including the playoffs. So,
but even with those 400 carries, you still had two 1,000-yard receivers.
you still had two of them, yeah. That, and see that when we talk about that balance, it's okay to have quarterbacks that gonna get you 4,000, but if you don't have a running game that's going to get you at the very least 1,500 yards, there's no balance there.
Because the running game helps the defense, the passing game helps themselves.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta have the mindset of that. I want everybody to write this down. Write this down. The passing game helps the fans. The run game helps the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to say that one more time for the people in the back? Mike, do I need to say that one more again?
Say it one more again.
One more again. The passing game helps the fans. The running game helps the defense.
I don't know. Weezy is asking a question. He just drafted two pass catchers. Are you sure that this era ain't built around them? Of course it's. Look,
of course it's built around them, but you still gotta have balance at the end of the day, regardless. Because the problem is you don't want to put them in the same situation that you just left out of putting too much on right. Julio and Calvin.
Mm-hmm. There's no guarantee that it's gonna last 10 years like Julio Jones. Wide receivers, there's no guarantee that wide receivers last that long in this NFL. Guys are tearing ACL like it's just like you crumble up potato chips. Like we just saw Mike Evans, another one of those guys. He's slowly breaking down. Mm-hmm. Julio breaking down. Devontae Adams. He breaking down, to be honest. Like he's still one of the best wide receivers, if not the best receiver in the league. But that's one of the main reasons why he left Green Bay, because his body started to break down. A lot of these wide receivers' body are starting to break down. Why? Because they're seeing dang near. And I'm gonna tell you right now, be looking for the Rams, Cooper Kupp. His body gonna start breaking down too. This man had almost 230 something targets in the season at wide receiver. No wide receiver can sustain that type of, wear and tear on your body. This is a wide receiver, and all he does is run every play. Yeah, it's not like a running back where he can take a play off. Wide receivers, for the most part, are always on the field.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, if a guy has averages about 110 catches a season, out of those 110 catches, he about got hit on about 90 of them damn catches, one way or another. At least 75. So if you put on average of 110 catches for a 4-year span, we ain't even talking about the hits that dropped on that dropped, like the attempts. We ain't talking about those hits. We talking about the hits of the balls that he caught. So you think at a 4-year span, out of maybe a possible 400 catches, if you take at least 75 times 4, the dude almost get hit almost 280 to 300 times in a 4-year span. Of course, their asses is gonna break down.
Another reason why balance is key.
And
Another reason.
and you notice that all the wide receivers that are breaking down are all the wide receivers that's played for the quote unquote top quarterbacks in the league.
I mean, look at Gronkowski. Gronkowski can't even walk the same no more. That man got knee braces and knee pads everywhere. He got pads all over his body. George Kittle, same guy. Like George Kittle, so beat down right now is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
That man can't even stay. He can't even stay healthy in the game. So,
He had a healthy season in about 2 seasons.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the top wide receivers. No, I'm gonna say it like this: all the top quarterbacks in this league, majority of the top quarterbacks in this league, got wide receivers that are breaking down.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that.
I mean, Mike Thomas. That man ain't been healthy in the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm. They said DeAndre
3 years.
Hopkins, AJ Green, Julio Jones, Mike Evans. Mike Evans got a bad back again. Hell, Chris Godwin, he's getting hurt here the last couple of
Mm-hmm.
years.
Mm-hmm. Odell Beckham Jr.
Odell Beckham ain't been healthy in 3 years. Um, Wolf says, was Roddy White underappreciated? Yes, Roddy White was definitely underappreciated. He was really underappreciated here in Atlanta, if we want to be honest with you. And we're gonna start. We'll start that. It was like post Michael Vick. Oh yeah, the late Jay said Amari Cooper.
Oh
D,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
DK heading there too, cause he taking way
That's a good point.
he's taking them goddamn Derrick Henry hits right now, cause he too damn big for his own good.
Mm-hmm.
Cause the problem is with a lot of wide receivers. See, a lot of wide receivers don't know how to get down. They are, like I said, they're basing their they putting these incentives in these contracts for these players
Mm-hmm.
to where you have to get a certain amount of yardage to get bonuses. So these guys are trying to get extra yardage when they don't need to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As Falcon fans, we've seen Julio Jones limping to the sideline for the last 6 years. Well, 4 years, 4 or 5 years, whatever. Run one play, limp to the sideline, out for 2 plays, come back, 2 plays, limp to the sideline, out for another 2 plays, come back in.
Mm-hmm.
But back to Wolf's question, was Roddy White underappreciated? Yes, because Roddy White wasn't flashy.
Yeah. He just got the job done. He is a guy that loved to block. He loved to do
Mm-hmm.
the small, what we always teach it here, the small intricate details of football. Like
Mm-hmm.
one thing I do like about Roddy, he like if he wasn't gonna take no unnecessary hits either. Roddy learned that. I
He
think
learned
after
Joe
like
Horn. I think Joe Horn taught him that.
yeah, he never. It was right before Matt Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Later 2006, I believe, 2005, 2006, somewhere in there when they had Mike Vick, and he
I
started
think
learning from Joe Horn, and Roddy just stopped taking up unnecessary hits, and he prolonged his career.
right, because I think, let me see, Roddy was 05, so yeah, he had Vic for 2 years. And it's kind of crazy with Roddy White was the Vic years. We all wanted Roddy gone because he couldn't catch a goddamn cold.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
Then he ended up with 3 of the worst quarterback options you could have ever had as an Atlanta Falcon fan, and
Oh
had
man.
88 catches for like 1,200 yards. He was the offense.
Mm-hmm.
Got with Matt Ryan, then became one of the best, being considered one of the top receivers in this league for a stretch period of time. So Roddy White going to these practices and teaching Drake London the ins and outs of this game is very important because he done went through adverse beginnings. Then he had to go through being the man on the team for a stretch period of time. Then he also had to be the man and mentor Julio Jones too.
Mm-hmm.
He done clashed with coaches, so he's done a lot of stuff. So he can school a guy like a Drake London. He can school a guy like Kyle Pitts. He can school guys out here. Alameda Zacchaeus on like just having that mental fortitude to just fight through it.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody remember that damn game where Michael Vick threw that bitch like 70 yards and Roddy White had nobody within 20 yards of him and he dropped the ball because he lost it? Yeah. We remember that game because that was the game where I was like, that was the game I was like, man, this dude is absolute garbage. What the fuck was that?
Roddy had some humble beginnings, boy. Good God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But then, like you said, he fought through it. He had his first, he had his first 1,000-yard receiving season being thrown to by Joey Harrington, Chris Redman, and Byron Leftwich.
Oh, man. Yeah. Woo, boy. Yeah, that was tough.
And guess what? That Falcon team that was leading the league in rushing or was in the top of the rushing after 2008, guess who was leading the blocking downfield?
That guy.
That guy, Roddy White. He was one of the best blocking wide receivers in the game.
Mm-hmm.
That wrestling background helped him a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But that's what we mean about the culture, setting the culture. Because it's all we can sit up here and talk about. We need to win games and win games and win games. That's the most generic thing that you can say. We need to win games, but if you don't have a plan to win those games, and if you don't stick to what win games at the end of the day, for every team, if you go back one thing and you look at every championship, no matter how much no matter how many players that they got, it always came down to two things: balance on offense to be able to get those first downs, and playing solid defense. You go back from the Steelers to the Colts with Peyton Manning throwing down there 5,000 yards every year. He always had Joseph Adai,
Adrian James. We can't forget Edge. We can't forget James,
Marshall Faulk. Like, they always had a balanced team. You go back to Tom Brady. Tom Brady had LeGarrette Blount, Kevin Faulk for a good little minute.
LeGarrette Blount. He had Corey Dillon.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see who
was the James White.
James White. I'm trying to think, was Lawrence Maroney on one of those?
I believe so. Lawrence Maroney.
Yeah. Was he on one of those? I know Rex Burkhead. I know what was that? Danny Woodhead was on one of those.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But LS here says, how many receivers can you say Matt Ryan saved their careers or got them a contract for some money they fell off when they left? Hold on, Mike. Let's go into that bank, shall we? Let's see. Let's name some receivers. Let's name some receivers. Hell, Roddy White, he saved his career.
He got Julio's second contract.
That's Julio's second contract. Muhammad Sanu,
Sanu, yeah.
Taylor Gabriel,
Russell Gage.
Russell. We
Austin
gonna
Hooper.
find out. Austin Hooper. Yeah, you could throw Levine Toilolo ass name in there for all you know.
Mm-hmm. So
Shit.
he got another
Harry,
little check after he won
Harry,
to
Harry Douglas.
Whoa, I know Harry love him, boy. I know Harry love him.
Harry Douglas got that big ass contract from Tennessee. Tennessee got rid of his ass after 2 years, man.
And after that, he didn't play no more after that. He was like, "No, I'm good." Turbo
Yeah,
Taylor.
Mm-hmm. So he done got guys paid. And the second part of that question is how many offensive coordinators then got head coaching jobs?
How many coaches, period, done got jobs because of Matt Ryan? Like, I mean, if we want to be serious, like the reason why that he haven't had a job in Texas is because of Matt Ryan, and I mean Steve Sarkisian. I
Mm-hmm.
just keep that 100 because he took those concepts that he learned in the NFL by playing with Matt Ryan. He took those to Alabama, and Alabama had that year, that big offensive year, and then he ended up going to Texas and getting the job at Texas. So Matt Ryan has gotten a lot of people paid, bro. He got a lot of people paid, bro.
Mm-hmm. So this kind of goes back to the conversation we had before about it's nothing wrong with having your favorites,
Mm-hmm.
but the thing is you have to respect the history of this team.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you are one of those that say Michael Vick was better than Matt Ryan. I mean, we're gonna look at you like sit your goofy ass down. But the thing about it is like I said, you can have your favorite player and appreciate all the other guys
Mm-hmm.
when it's deserved. Now,
Mm-hmm.
when we talking about Joey Harrington and Chris Redman, no, you kick rocks with that. When we talk about Kirk Kidner and Doug Johnson, you can kick rocks with that.
Mm-hmm.
If you talk about Tony Graziani, you can kick rocks with that. You want to talk about Sean Renfrey? No. Danny Etling? No. Which McCown brother we had? Was that Luke McCown on the damn team? Was it
Was
Luke McCown? No, not Luke
it was
McCown.
Josh? I think it was.
No. I got the wrong one.
No. Yeah. It was
Matt Sims. Matt Sims.
Matt Sims. That's who it was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, it was Luke McCown. We did have Luke McCown.
We did?
We had 2 stints of Matt Shaw. We might need to do a whole show of all the quarterbacks the Atlanta Falcons have ever had.
Right. Good God.
Do y'all want us to do a show on all the quarterbacks the Atlanta Falcons have ever seen? You do, because we got to realize too, as for a fan base that's so entitled on a title, we keep forgetting that the Falcons have one of the worst winning percentages as a franchise in the league.
Oh boy.
Actually, Tampa has a worse winning percentage than we do. But they got 2 Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
So I want everybody. Oh, okay. If everybody want us to do a show on all Falcons quarterbacks and Falcons history, put a 3 in the chat if you want that to happen. I want to see that. I want to experiment on something.
Man, that's gonna be.
We gotta have a whole family on that for that show right there. We gotta have Noah. We gotta have Devontae on all that shit.
Ben Kurt. Oh my God.
Kurt.
Rex Grossman.
Wait a minute,
That's a disgusting name, bro.
I mean, I wasn't a Wes Grossman fan in Florida, so I'm already like, boy, get the fuck up out of here. Uh-oh. I see a lot of threes here.
Yeah, it's quite a few.
I see a lot of damn threes with a they tell Leo said threes with a drink. They said they want Sam to be a part of that one.
Oh.
Oh, look at this. Talk about balance. Was the Steelers unbalanced when Ben threw those 5 interceptions against the Jaguars?
You think? Oh man,
bruh.
balance means a lot.
Bruh, Ben Roethlisberger, one of Ben Roethlisberger's last games. I'm gonna tell you how crazy this statistic was. This dude threw 37 passes for 93 yards.
How the hell you throw 37 passes?
Look. Oh, Tony Wright said, you may not want to do that. He said, dark days, a lot of dark
Bro,
days.
that ain't dark days, boy. I don't know what that is.
Oh, my God. Kim McQuilkin, Dick Shiner.
Oh, my God. How you know it's bad when you got a quarterback named Dick Shiner?
Hold on, I'm just going to, like I said, we just see for that particular show, we got to have the whole crew for that show. We got
that's gonna be nasty. I regret it, hey man. Woo boy.
Yeah, think about it. In the Falcons, almost 60-year history, we've only seen. I think I said what I say before. We only seen like 15 playoff appearances in a 60-year history.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah.
Trust me, it's a reason why we worship Matt Ryan.
And even if you worship Michael Vick, but like I said, you rather have one of those two than this list. I'm just gonna name some. I'm just gonna give you a few names. I ain't gonna give you the whole list. I'm gonna give you a few names. Y'all already know about Bobby Hebert and Jeff George. We got Wade Wilson, Hugh Millen, Scott Campbell, Danny Cannell.
All right, you can stop now. I forgot all about that Danny Cannell. Jesus Christ.
Kim McQuilkin, Bob Berry.
Hold on, we gotta say it before the show. Don't give him no more.
I ain't gonna give him all of them. I just gave him a couple more.
Jesus Christ, Whew. That man
oh yeah, we damn sure did have John Parker Wilson. I forgot about that. We had John Parker Wilson. He didn't make it past. He didn't make it past the second preseason game. I remember that.
Oh my God!
Oh, don't forget one of the great. Don't forget one. Nah, you know I can't keep naming these quarterbacks, but y'all.
No, don't.
I ain't giving you. I ain't giving you. Y'all ain't finna trick me into no more.
Oh man,
y'all ain't finna trick me into no more. But let's go ahead and wind this thing on down, man. Like I said, you got something else you want to talk about, or you want to go ahead and wind it down?
Hey, I think we got it, man. Football is around the corner. Of course, y'all know we're gonna still do these post game shows for the games, and I like those are gonna be really exciting, man. There ain't no telling what you're gonna get from us. Those are live reactions. Like I think those are the best shows that we put on because it's live reaction right after the game. We don't waste no time. We get right after the game, whether we win or lose. Y'all gonna get the true and honest post game reaction. That's what we're about.
Exactly. And this year, we got confidence. in doing these live streams like this, especially me. So y'all really don't know what the hell y'all looking at me
Right.
today.
Yeah. Oh,
But
I don't even know why you even here. But Jesus Christ.
he said the Falcons had a quarterback come from selling insurance.
Oh my God, man.
Oh my God. But like I said, if y'all want a sneak preview of the Atlanta Falcons history, y'all need to go look up Secret Bases 7-part series. I think it's 7 or 8-part series on the history of the Atlanta Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
That Secret Base history of the Atlanta Falcons. Now you wonder why. A lot of Falcon fans have a lot of PTSD and on damn near suicide watch, because if you watch that shit right there, you be looking like, oh, wait a minute.
There's a reason why we worship our players.
You had a head coach get fired because he damn near slapped somebody after a press conference.
Right.
That's all I need to know. But yeah, we gonna have that ready, boy. That shit, like I said, we gotta call. Hey, Wolf, we might have to put you on that show too, man. This shit's gonna be fucking hilarious.
Oh, we doing our homework on it.
Yeah, so it's not gonna be right away, but y'all just be on the lookout because we gotta actually find some footage. Hopefully, we find some footage on these guys. I know most of these guys probably ain't got much.
Right, that's a whole other, that's a whole other.
Look, them guys probably ain't got much footage to look at. It's probably a bunch of interceptions and a bunch of incomplete passes.
A bunch of kickoff returns. Because we weren't doing shit on offense.
I'm about to say, boy. And look, and this is the sad thing. And hold on, let me get this before we do the outro, man. And I appreciate everybody still tuning in with us here. This is why that grits blitz defense, Atlanta Falcons, was one of the saddest things we've ever seen here in Atlanta Falcon history. Because you had this dynamic, dominant defense, and the offense was one of the worst things you've ever seen. They had no choice but to blitz everybody because their offense damn sure wasn't scoring no points.
No. we gave up an NFL record, okay? This is an NFL record, and the lowest points is 9.2.
Hold on. Grits blitz. That was the 1977 Atlanta Falcons. Let's go ahead and look up some stuff right quick. The grits. Hold on. No. You know what? No, I got a computer here. I don't know why I'm using my phone. Let's look. Let's look at something. Y'all bear with me. This ain't gonna take but a minute. Hold on.
And don't let them fool you and say the Ravens are the greatest defense of all time. The Falcons have the greatest defense of all time, and that's 77 team that they want to erase the history of that team.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the greatest defense of all time. And there's no disrespect to the Ravens because I love that damn defense. But the Falcons have the better, the best team of all time. Defense.
Okay. Leeman Bennett. Everybody knows that name. The 1977 Atlanta Falcons. Y'all see that, right? These motherfuckers went 7-7. The defense gave up 9.2 yards per game. The offense scored 12.8.
Read the top with it. Just read that top with it again, okay?
Record 7-7, second in NFC West Division. Coach Leeman Bennett went 7 for 7. The Atlanta Falcons scored a grand total of 179 points for whole season. Hold on, let me do some calculate. Let me do some calculate on that. 100 not, and they gave up 129 points.
That's first in the NFL.
Look at that.
They gave up 129 points, and then the whole year they gave up an average of 9.2 points a game.
Look at that. Total yards. They were second in the league in giving up in total yards defense. They were second in the league in turnovers. Yeah. Yeah, look at this. Win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. Do you see the inconsistencies of that season? Bruh.
You can't even score a damn point, bro.
Look, hold on. Let's go over and look. Hold on. It is gonna let me go. Look at this. 17-6. 6. They lost 6-10, 17-3. They won a game 7-0. They lost a game 0-3. 16-10. The very last game was 35-7. I don't even see the comments. Yeah, hold on. Look at this shit. Look at it. He said that was with Steve Bartkowski at quarterback. Darton said this is gonna be. He got a Saint symbol going on here, but he said this is gonna be a long ass show with past quarter. Marvin talking about where's my damn whiskey. Yeah, Bartkowski went through. Look at this shit. Bartkowski threw 5 touchdowns with 13 interceptions that year.
Hey, I'm depressed. Motherfucker, you couldn't roll the ball. God damn, man. You could have underhanded the bitch. God damn.
Then Haskell stand back and Woody Thompson. They couldn't run the ball worth a damn neither. They had 9 rushing touchdowns for the whole season throughout the whole team. Damn it, hold on. What a receiving shit.
And now y'all see why I say that's the greatest defense of all time. Because how the fuck you win 7 games and don't tell me that wasn't the greatest defense.
Look. Alfred Jenkins was the best receiver that year with 39 receptions for 677 yards and 4 touchdowns, bro. I want to ask everybody about the Grits Blitz defense. How do y'all feel about that offense that year?
Nigga, why do people like that? Don't antagonize me.
I'm going to antagonize the shit out of everybody. You know that's what I do best.
Oh my god.
If this makes you mad, put a 4 in the chat if this makes you mad.
That shit give me a fucking nightmare. Motherfucker couldn't even roll the ball. Like, goddamn. Motherfucker could have had some backward screens or something, goddamn.
I don't think anybody want to put no 4s there right now because I think everybody drunk now. Like, wait a minute, this some bullshit.
Damn, bro.
Like, this some bullshit.
They
Yeah. They ain't even got where the defensive stats at. We want the defensive stats. Damn, the offense. The offense is depressing everybody as it is. Oh wait a minute, this is the defensive stat. I'm tripping. Look at this shit. Oh yeah, they didn't have tackles and stuff like that around that time. Look at that. Roland Lawrence, 7 interceptions. Ralph Ortega, 4 interceptions. Ray Brown, 5 interceptions. Ray Easterling, 4 interceptions. This motherfucking team had 26 total interceptions and 42 total sacks. So you telling me that they was getting to the quarterback and getting turnovers? Yeah. So put some respect on the Grits Blitz defense, because damn it, they had no help at all. So let's go ahead and I got to end it off right. I got to end it off with this music because I think a lot of people are starting to drink themselves to sleep after looking at what we just looked at. So we definitely appreciate everybody tuning in tonight to the Friday Night Madness, where we start your weekend off right. That's why we always say, y'all go ahead and leave y'all questions, leave your suggestions on what you want us to talk about in the sports world. Whether it be Falcons, whether it be your favorite team, maybe it's your favorite sport. Let us know. So, before y'all leave tonight, y'all make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure y'all go ahead and hit them subscribe buttons. Wow. Because we trying to put a message out here that we ain't to be fucked with out here. But we also want to put a message out here is we want everybody that's watching us to get their voices heard. 6-man K Styles. We 11 away from 1K. That's just the beginning. Mad Mike is on the road. His next goal is 8K. We getting there over there as well. Make sure you subscribe to not only us, but Atlanta Falcon Nation as well. Make sure you follow all of our affiliates. And what do we say here on our shows at the end? We ain't here to play. We here to stay. You ain't got to go home.
About to do my prints.
No, you got to do it right. Hold on, you got to do it right. You got to do it right.
I got to.
Darling Piggy. Little red Corvette. Deuces.
Wait.
I want to see how the fuck he do that shit, man. That shit make my eyes hurt. What the fuck is that shit?
Oh my god, boy.